Tonight on ELN Local News, we'll have team coverage on the arrest of an ELN student charged with rape and sexual offense in the second degree.
We need to be doing better than we've been doing.
New Superintendent Dr. Bill Harrison is stepping in to help improve Alamance Burlington schools. We spoke to him about his strategic plan.
The women's basketball team made ELN history this weekend, but there were some other MVPs who were off the court.
ELN Local News starts right now.
Welcome to ELN Local News. I'm Gary Grumbach.
And I'm Jasmine Turner. A first-year student is still enrolled at ELN after being charged with rape. Tristan Hardinger was arrested Friday, accused of second-degree rape and second-degree sexual offense of a female student. The ELN University Police report says alcohol was involved on both sides. Hardinger was in court today, and he is scheduled to reappear April 1st.
The report says the alleged incident occurred early in the morning on Friday, January 9th in Sloan Hall, but was not reported until late February. The police report says a jump drive and a phone were seized in the investigation.
The university says it will conduct a separate investigation of this incident, independent from the legal process. Dean Jackson says Hardinger can only return to campus if he first meets with the senior administrator on call, associate dean of students, or the director of student conduct. Jackson also said until the student conduct process is complete, Hardinger would only be permitted on campus to attend classes. He is not allowed to live in on-campus housing. Hardinger's $75,000 bond was posted Sunday. He will make a court appearance tomorrow for a separate case involving possession of marijuana paraphernalia. Now, all of these legal terms can be a little confusing. Here to clarify some of these definitions is our Meredith Stutz.
Thanks, Gary. North Carolina's law states a person is guilty of, quote, rape in the second degree, end quote, if the person engages in vaginal intercourse with another person by force against the will of that other person, or if the person performing the act knows or should reasonably know the other person is mentally disabled, mentally incapacitated, or physically helpless. NC law also says second-degree rape and second-degree sexual offense are Class C felonies, which carries a punishment of 3.5 to 7.5 years. Again, Hardinger has not been tried for these offenses. He is only charged. Jasmine and Gary, back to you.
If you or anyone you know is struggling with sexual abuse, there are resources on and off campus. On campus, you can contact Jessica Clark, who is the coordinator for violence response. You can also contact the Safe Line number 24/7. The number is 336-278-3333. Off campus, there is Crossroads Sexual Assault Response and Resource Center. Their number is 336-228-0813.
Here in the county, Alamance Community College is asking for an additional $1.5 million in their budget. This will raise the amount of county contribution from $3.9 million to about $4.6 million. Most of Alamance Community College's budget money comes from the state. The money from the county goes towards the buildings and their maintenance.
And moving on from Alamance Community Colleges to Alamance and Burlington primary and secondary schools. Dr. Bill Harrison is less than a month into his term as Alamance Burlington School System Superintendent. As the highest paid superintendent in North Carolina, ELN spoke to Harrison about what makes him the right man to change ABSS. Our Carissa Parent is in the studio with more. Carissa?
Thanks, Jasmine. Dr. Harrison retired in 2009, but during his retirement, he continued to work in education as part of the North Carolina State Board of Education and as ABSS interim superintendent in the fall. When I asked him what made him come out of retirement and sign a 2-year contract with ABSS, he told me he still had an itch to be active in schools after serving as a superintendent for 19 years. When thinking harder about whether to stay, he said he wanted to give it another shot.
Some are a good fit for one place and not so good of a fit for another place. And I think that I'm a pretty good fit for ABSS.
And some community members would agree that Dr. Harrison has been a great fit so far.
But the cost of his leadership came at a high price. In order to pay him out of his retirement plan, the school board paid for his salary with $245,000 from state and local funds. Another $85,000 came from outside donors like Glen Raven, Impact Alamance, and even ELN University, making him the highest paid superintendent in North Carolina at more than $300,000.
Well, I think they're investing in the school system. I don't think it's necessarily me per se.
And it's an investment that is already starting to pay off. With less than a month into his full-time contract, Dr. Harrison has already proposed a 5-year budget plan. That plan involves increasing teacher supplements and increasing student resources.
We need competent, caring teachers in every classroom, and so we need to recruit the best we can, and then we need to retain them.
If the budget is passed, teachers will see a 1% salary increase every year for the next 5 years. Dr. Jerry Francis, ELN University Vice President and active member in the creation for the ABSS strategic plan, says these supplements have to be done.
We need to be competing for the best. And let me tell you, I don't care what you say, you can talk all you want, but people are going to look at, so what am I being paid?
In order to pay teachers more, Harrison is proposing to cut $2.5 million from other areas in the budget, like commercial programs, teacher assistants, and some staff.
We need to be doing better than we've been doing, so we're focusing on that. And I think to do that, you have to have the very best teachers.
Now, the budget still has to be passed by the Board of Education and the county commissioners and will not be implemented until July 1st. Harrison's term is only 2 years, so he might not see the plan be fully carried out, but he will get the chance to get change started. Back to you, Gary.
Thanks, Carissa. In the past 10 years, ELN has been working closely with the Alamance Burlington school system. This includes creating tutoring programs with ELN students, ABSS students taking classes here, and even helping pay for the superintendent's salary. Our Michelle Alfini looked into the benefits of this partnership.
As the mother of 2 children, Stacy Dooley says the local school system was a huge factor in deciding to accept a job at ELN.
One of our trips here was solely focused on searching for schools for our son and daughter.
There are 6 other school districts less than an hour away from ELN. This makes commuting a popular choice for many ELN faculty members. But Dooley says that it's important for ELN faculty to live close to campus.
I think we expect our faculty and staff to be engaged with the students as they are doing that. It's a partnership, and so I think with that kind of approach and that kind of model, to have faculty close by and in the community is important.
This can be a tough choice when nearly 40% of schools in ABSS scored a D or below, while only 1 school in Orange County scored a D.
You know, I'll commute from Orange County. I can make it up here from Chapel Hill every day. We don't even have to move. And that's inexcusable.
Mark Payne is a retired teacher on the school board. He says that ELN's relationship with the local schools is a big help.
Having a university like ELN that is so well thought of and esteemed, concerned about the well-being of the school system that surrounds it is a real plus.
For Dooley, this relationship influenced her decision to enroll her children in an ABSS elementary school. But she knows the system is far from perfect.
I look at just school facilities and the age of the school facilities, and that's, you know, I would love to see improvements in that.
And Payne believes students can contribute to that process as well.
One student here at ELN could completely and utterly change a child's life.
Michelle Alfini, ELN Local News.
Many ELN staff tried to make a more direct impact on ABSS when they ran for school board last fall. Meanwhile, President Leo Lambert has been involved for more than a year in an informal group of concerned citizens working to better the school system.
Coming up, you might see it happen every day and you may even do it. Find out more about the term that could describe your cell phone etiquette. Elon's Interfraternity Council is taking a stand against the recent issues of racial bias at the University of Oklahoma. A video has surfaced of members of Oklahoma's chapter of Sigma Alpha Epsilon, or SAE, singing a racial slur. Tomorrow morning at College Coffee, Elon's Interfraternity Council is sponsoring a table with a banner that will read, "Elon Greek Life stands together against racial bias." They are encouraging all members of Greek organizations to sign in support.
You may not have known it was a term, and you might be guilty of doing it. It's called phubbing. Phubbing, or phone snubbing, is when you turn your phone to your phone in a social setting, instead of talking with the people in front of you. The word originated from a campaign to stop phubbing by Macquarie Dictionary. The campaign's purpose is to remind others the importance of face-to-face contact. There's even a place on the website where you can email a friend if you feel like they phub too much. As technology continues to be part of our lives, this campaign is reminding people of basic etiquette.
Elon's first gender-specific living learning community is coming in the fall. We brought you the news of the Sports Participation and Networking LLC opening in Smith Residence Hall, but there officially will be no female equivalent next year. Alicia Ingold, Residence Life Fellow for Elon's historic neighborhood, originally pitched the idea for this community. She said differing gender identities in sports actually lends residence halls to a natural separation.
To split that out is a good thing, and I think eventually, somewhere else it could be brought together. But I think that men and women face different things through sport, and so I think it'll be interesting to allow them to have a conversation that maybe they wouldn't feel comfortable having if women were present.
Ingold hopes to someday start a similar female-only LLC in neighboring Carolina Residence Hall and have the two LLCs come together. But she says that it could take Resident Life 2 years or more to gauge the success of the new Smith learning community.
Peace, love, and acapella. That was the message from this weekend's Woodstock-themed Acapalooza.
Welcome to Acapalooza Woodstock 2015.
Performances from 10 different groups. All 6 Elon a cappella groups performed, along with groups from UNCG, NC State, and the University of Maryland. Elon's all-female group, Sweet Signatures, has hosted this event each spring for more than 10 years. Acapalooza chair Bree Marino says she was overwhelmed by the support.
We pre-sold out all of our tickets within 2 days, and so to see that line of people waiting for like the last 30 tickets we had was awesome, because it's great to see that so many people are out here supporting the a cappella community at Elon.
Spring concert on May 8th.
North Carolina weather has everyone confused, and today it was 75 degrees, but last week was rainy, the week before snowing, and the 5-day forecast says today's warm weather is only temporary. Our Jackie Pascal is outside with your week's weather. Jackie?
Thanks, Jasmine. It's a warm 79 degrees out here, but a little with some strong winds. Be sure to grab that jacket for tonight because it's dropping down to the low 50s. Tuesday will trick you into thinking it's almost summer with partly cloudy skies and a high of 77 degrees. But the low for tomorrow night is when things start to get chilly again, going down to the 30s. The rest of the week cools down with Wednesday having a high of 59 degrees and a low of 39. You want to put on a sweater and rain boots Thursday because we're expecting rain with a high of 50 degrees and a low of 39. The rain continues Friday, but it'll warm up to a high of 57 degrees and a low of 37. Saturday finally keeps the heat and without the dreary rain. Expect partly cloudy skies and a high of 64 degrees. With your 5-day forecast, I'm Jackie Pascal.
Thanks, Jackie. It's Sunshine Week this week, and it has nothing to do with today's nice weather. This week marks the annual call to bridge the gap between the American public and its government. The initiative started in 2005 with the mission to shine the light in order to promote an open government system on a local, state, and national level. The week also seeks to promote awareness for the Freedom of Information Act, which allows access to public records. Civil groups, schools, and especially the media are calling for increased access to federal documents, meetings, and actions in order to hold the leaders of our nation accountable. In a recent Elon poll, 62% of those polled were not aware that sunshine laws even existed, while 76% do see a need for there to be access to any government document. Dean of the School of Communications, Paul Parsons, told us why open government is so important.
North Carolina, open meetings, open courts, open records, We just believe that government ought to operate in the sunshine, meaning the light of day, rather than the darkness and the dark recesses of corners.
And why is this?
Sunshine Week and Sunday.
And if you're feeling a little under the weather, our Paige Peroso will be here after the break to give some tips on getting healthy and staying healthy. We'll be right back. As part of Elon University's commitment to global citizenship, students are encouraged to do study abroad and do community service. But does aid cause more harm than good? Our Brian Anderson has more.
We provided them with material goods, yes, but I think they provided us with a lot more.
Laura Conroy is a junior who studied abroad in Ghana for 3 weeks during winter term 2014.
I walked away still with their faces in my mind. I'm not sure if they think about us, but I definitely still think about them.
But not all agree short-term service is all it's cracked up to be. Heidi Frontani, a professor of geography at Elon, warns that this type of aid could cause more harm than good.
You create dependent communities that are just sitting there waiting for the next group of people to come through and give them things. That's not what people want.
Frontani says this dependency is a form of toxic charity, or charity that does not promote long-term growth and development.
Instead of having food that's given away for free where people have to show that they're poor enough to qualify for it and you embarrass them, why not have a food co-op where everything is 1/20th the cost or something?
Thomas Arcaro, the founding director of the Periclean Scholars Program at Elon, says the biggest challenge with doing meaningful service is balancing the cost of travel with the quality of work being done.
There's a huge cost of going, and that cost has to be more than offset by the value added of what we would do in country X or Y, whatever that country is.
But providing impactful aid is a challenge.
Service isn't easy if it's done right. If it's done in a partnering, not patronizing way, it's really a lot of work.
Overall, both Arcaro and Frontani want to see students on campus making a long-term difference when doing service abroad or at home. Brian Anderson, Elon Local News.
Students will be doing service during spring break as part of the Kernodle Center's Alternative Breaks program. Costs range from $600 to $1,300.
Washing your hands and getting enough sleep are well-known ways to avoid getting sick, but sometimes, despite your best efforts, you still catch something. Our Paige Peroso is here with tips on getting and staying healthy. Paige?
Thanks, Jasmine. Now, if you've been feeling a little sick lately, like I have, there are some ways to get healthier. First off, if you're sick, don't go to class. It might sound obvious, but here's why you shouldn't do it. According to cold and flu expert Dr. Roger Henderson, just one sneeze contains approximately 100,000 droplets that can infect up to 150 people in just 5 minutes. So whether you're at home, in bed, or in class, cover your mouth. If your professor has a strict attendance policy, go to the health center and get a note, which will excuse your absence. Your professor will thank you for not getting him or the rest of his class sick. Now, if you do get sick, be prepared. Keep a variety of different medicines in your dorm or apartment. Now, if you're like me and you barely have enough money to pay for your meal plan, so instead of buying the popular brand name medicines, go for the generic. Generic medicines tend to be cheaper and work just as well. A 20 count of NyQuil costs almost $8 but at Walmart, a 24 count of Equate cold and flu gel pills, the Walmart brand, only costs about $4. Lastly, if you feel like you're getting sick, you might want to go to the gym. Not only is it good for your future health, but it's also good for your current health. Doing a light workout could boost your immune system and help it fight off the virus. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says exercising just 20 to 30 minutes each day will help prevent a broad range of health problems and diseases. Now make sure that you wipe down the equipment when you're done, just in case you are sick. Keeping you healthy, I'm Paige Peroso. Gary and Jasmine, back to you.
Thanks, Paige. And as students are preparing to drive away for a much-needed spring break, gas prices in the area remain relatively low. Here are a look at the cheapest places to fill up. The Kangaroo just across the street from Alumni Gym is selling regular gas for $2.30 a gallon. Just down the road at the intersection of West Haggard Avenue and University Drive, Citgo is selling regular for $2.32 per gallon, but the cheapest gas in the area comes from Chemco on North Graham-Hopdale Road in Burlington at $2.25 per gallon for regular. The average gas price for the entire state of North Carolina sits at $2.32 per gallon. If you're headed south for spring break, be sure to fill up in South Carolina with an average of $2.14 per gallon.
Now I know I could have used that info when I traveled up to Maryland this weekend with the women's basketball team for the CAA tournament. I'm Brianna Eck. After the break, I'll introduce you to a different kind of MVP from this weekend's tournament. Women's basketball traveled to Maryland this weekend. While there, I found a different group that enjoys the game just as much as the team. The Phoenix took to the Showplace Arena in Upper Marlboro, Maryland this weekend for the Colonial Athletic Association tournament, making an impressive run to the semifinals, a first in Elon history. After a big quarterfinal win against CAA rival UNCW, 60-48, the team faced #1 seed James Madison, losing by just 3 points in a semifinal thriller.
They left everything on the court, so we can walk away from this building, with heavy hearts, but at the same time, feeling proud of the way that we competed.
The team may have been the focus, but there was another MVP at this tournament. From Elon's campus to Baltimore to Upper Marlboro, sophomore Jesse Kirshner and the rest of the Elon basketball pep band has been with the team since Game 1. The band joins the Phoenix at all home contests and away tournaments.
It's honestly one of our greatest pleasures that we get to do is go out and support our teams.
The smooth moves by the band makes junior member Kirby Vucolo feel like a part of the team.
Just like the cheerleaders will move their pom-poms and shake and flip and all of that stuff, we can't do that. So we try to move as much as we can to add some excitement to it. Just make it entertaining. We're there to entertain and support the teams.
And the positive energy from the band, no matter what the score, brings everyone together.
When we are at the game, it's just kind of that extra reminder, hey, we are an Elon community, we are a family. Let's have as much fun here as we have, no matter what the outcome is.
And when the final buzzer sounds, it is the band that will keep on playing. James Madison went on to top Hofstra 62-56 in the CAA championship game, winning its second consecutive conference title. The Dukes will wait and see who they play in the NCAA tournament tonight. As for Elon, the season may not be over just yet. After finishing the season 19-12 and advancing to the conference semifinals, the Phoenix are still in the running for the postseason. Elon does have a chance at making the Women's National Invitation Tournament or the Women's Basketball Invitational postseason tournament. That selection will be made later this week. It was a rough weekend for Elon baseball. The team was swept by East Carolina in 3 games. The Phoenix struggled at the plate, but it was the Elon pitching that really took a blow. The Pirates scored 41 runs over 3 games. 41 runs, almost half of those came in the 3rd game when the Pirates dominated Elon 20-4. Elon now sits at 8-9 and will look to get back to its winning ways when the team welcomes Maryland Terrapins for 2-game set. The series is scheduled for tomorrow and Wednesday, both games at 4 p.m. at Latham Park. And it may be midterm week for Elon, but if you need a study break, you might want to enjoy a little softball. At Hunt Park, the Elon softball team hosts East Carolina for a 3-game series. A doubleheader on Tuesday with games at 4 and 6 p.m., and then the finale Wednesday evening at 6.
Bree, what was your favorite part of the CAA tournament? I know you traveled down to Maryland, got to be with the team, got to be with the band, dancing a little bit. So what was the best part?
I don't mean to sound cheesy, but I really just enjoyed the game itself. I don't think I've seen the girls that just pumped and that enthusiastic. Every moment of the game was just, I was on the edge of my seat. Mm-hmm. I absolutely loved it, and afterwards, even though they lost and it was a little heartbreaking, it was just so wonderful to watch them.
Thanks so much, Bree. That's all we have for Elon Local News. Have a great night.